Bonjour, Merica, salut, comment ça va?
Ça va bien, et toi, Abby, ça va?
Oui, oui, ça va bien, merci. Merci pour être ici et pour être là avec moi. Je suis très reconnaissant que vous soyez là.
On peut se tutoyer, tu sais.
Oui, alors, c'était quand nous nous sommes rencontrés, il y a peut-être 5 ans ou 6 ans?
Oui, ça doit être un peu ça. Je pense que c'était Est-ce que c'était à la conférence de Calico ou c'était à
Non,
l'Université
bien avant.
d'Arizona? L'Université
Oui,
d'Arizona, oui.
oui, à la fac, oui,
Ouais.
votre alma mater, tout ça. Oui, pendant que vous meniez vos études doctorales là-bas, hein,
Ouais.
au sein du département de SLAT. Oui,
Oui, exactement.
ouais.
La linguistique appliquée.
Ouais, très, très bien.
Ouais.
Et puis, vous avez publié plusieurs articles que j'ai vus en ligne. Oui, je savais
Merci.
pas. Je savais pas que vous avez écrit something like. J'ai vu que vous avez publié quelques articles euh, à propos de la linguistique appliquée. Surtout, il y avait une analyse, oui, une analyse du livre de Monsieur Blake, oui,
Ah
Docteur
oui,
Blake.
c'est ça,
Ouais,
oui.
c'était cool.
Ouais.
Oui, et c'était une analyse de Brave New Digital Classroom. Hein.
Oui, c'est ça, oui. Bonne
Et,
recherche.
ouais, et de nos jours, c'est très important, oui, cette recherche que vous
Oui.
avez, que
Merci.
lui, il avait fait, et vous, vous avez. Bon, ça vous dit si on se tutoie ou non?
Oh oui, s'il te plaît, oui, j'aimerais bien. On va se
Très, très
commencer.
bien.
Oui.
Ben, on va cesser de parler français bientôt, mais
OK.
euh, s'il y a, s'il y a, s'il y a quelque chose d'autre que tu voudrais que les internautes savent à propos de toi. Euh,
J'adore les langues.
ah,
J'adore les langues. Je parle le français quand j'ai le temps. Mon copain est français et on parle français souvent et anglais. On mélange le franglais. Et
ouais.
puis, en fait, pour ma licence, il y a longtemps, j'ai étudié l'allemand, en fait. C'était ma spécialisation d'allemand. Et puis, plus tard, quand j'ai fait mon master en
Mhm,
linguistique appliquée à l'Université d'Hawaï,
mhm.
j'ai commencé de prendre l'espagnol aussi. Et puis, j'adore les langues. Quand j'habitais en Europe pendant 5 ans en total,
Mhm, mhm.
j'avais souvent des colocs, des amis du dortoir qui étaient de beaucoup de pays de l'Europe et du monde. Et donc, c'était un plaisir pour moi de prendre des expressions dans d'autres langues.
Ouais, bien
Et,
sûr. Oui. Et
j'adore ça.
c'était à Emory où tu as
Oui,
fait ton undergrad, oui?
exactement.
Et
Oui.
c'est là où tu as appris à parler allemand?
C'est ça où je me suis spécialisée en allemand,
Ah
mais en
bon?
fait, j'ai commencé avec l'allemand au lycée. J'avais de la chance, c'était un très bon lycée public
Hmm.
où j'avais un prof d'allemand et c'est intéressant une histoire pourquoi j'ai commencé d'étudier l'allemand, mais bon, c'était un prof très sympa et en fait, il avait un doctorat et il venait d'Allemagne, donc maintenant, il a beaucoup influencé ma vie en fait.
Ah, ok, j'ai vu.
Oui. Parce
Ok.
que j'ai bien aimé la langue et
Mhm,
puis j'ai continué. Et puis j'ai commencé d'apprendre le français quand j'étais à la fac.
mhm.
Oui.
Ah, ok. Ah, j'ai vu.
Oui.
Très, très bien.
Oui.
Bon, alors, changeons de langue, s'il te plaît,
OK.
que tout le monde puisse nous comprendre. Hein? Okay,
OK.
I guess we'll speak a little bit of the King's or the colonial English, I
Right.
guess.
A bit of English as well. Yes.
Have you studied it?
Yes, just a tad.
Oui, very good. So I'll just go over a little bit of what we discussed in French in case any of our viewers are not francophone.
Sure.
And we were talking about how you and I had met at your university where you were doing your doctorate studies 5 or 6 years ago, University of Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And you graduated from the prestigious SLAT program, Second Language Acquisition and Teaching.
Exactly.
And I did my homework and I found a few articles that you wrote online. One that caught my eye was the review that you did of Robert Blake's. I think you co-wrote it with Gabrielle Guillen, I think.
Yeah, I think I just saw that. I think there's a new edition that just came out with Gabriel. The edition that I reviewed, it was before I knew him.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I think there's like 3 versions of the book now.
So it must be the second or third. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay, I'll have to do my homework on that. Okay, well, here we are.
Mhm.
And thanks for coming today. I asked you here, this virtual space that we have, to talk about this virtual space that we have, and what our challenges and our successes are in being the language instructors that we are. Could you tell our audience a little bit about what you're doing currently?
So, yeah, yes, sure. Currently, I'm teaching English, actually English language arts, to ninth graders at Summit Public Schools. It's a public charter school that's actually really innovative. It's got this hybrid way of learning, and it's project-based learning, and it also focuses on personalization. And those are some things that drew me to the school, because it was related to my dissertation research. My dissertation research had to do with project-based learning in an online environment, how to make online learning more interactive. And I researched, it was actually an online teacher training course that was preparing people to become English teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And so we revamped the program to try to make it more student-centered, instead of having just like a test at the end where you demonstrated your knowledge by answering some questions. What do teachers need to do? They need to make lesson plans and make a syllabus and teach. And so
So
actually,
focusing on the formative,
exactly,
essentially.
exactly.
Okay.
And so actually a colleague revamped the course and made it project-based.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh, perfect opportunity to do research. And I was looking for research projects. The current class I'm teaching is actually English language arts in high school, and also a mentor to a group of 11th grade students.
So it's almost, well, it is that your research and experience kind of dovetailed into this regrettable situation that we're all in today, but you were quite prepared, I suppose.
Yeah, I was thinking, wow, like, okay, I mean, yes, I feel sad about the pandemic, if that's the word in English,
Mm-hmm.
la pandémie. Um, but uh, but academically, I felt I've done this before. I've taught online before. I've taught hybrid. So um, and we do have an online platform at our school, and our students have been using that already. So luckily, our administration had a plan together, and for all teachers to use the same platform, the same place to put the assignments. We already had a place for students to submit assignments. So it's actually pretty smooth and not a shock for me in that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting you brought up pandemic, epidemic. Of course, all the different newspapers have their different ways of saying things, but I've been since I'm teaching French now.
Mm.
Of course, we have. It just so happens that we had a unit on la santé et bien-être, and
Ah,
that's something that we're working on right now. And it
d'accord.
happened, and this, you know, came to the forefront right as this pandemic came to the forefront as well. So it was just
Wow.
sadly perfect that I started, that it was apropos to teach all of the vocabulary surrounding, shelter in place and
Yeah,
pandemics and epidemics and all this kind of thing. It's just, oh,
yeah.
oh my gosh, so topical.
Quelle
Um,
coïncidence.
quelle
I was
coincidence.
I was thinking, wondering what about French teachers? Like maybe you'll spend less time talking about la bise right now.
I don't even bring it up. There's a section in French too where we talk about that, and everybody has a different opinion. But
Mm,
so you were talking about the relative seamlessness of moving into this type of teaching,
mm-hmm.
because of the experience and because your public charter was well prepared and everything. Can you
Yeah,
tell us a little bit about the platforms that you all are using?
sure. Yeah. So yeah, that's something we're really fortunate. We have what's called the personalized learning platform. We call it the PLP, and actually it was created by some engineers from Facebook. Apparently Mark Zuckerberg visited Summit some years ago and was inspired by the mission of our school, and uh, donated some computer engineers to work on building a platform.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, this was, I think, in 2015 they did that. And then now there's more people with the Chan Zuckerberg initiative that work full time on this. And also Bill Gates has visited and he and Melinda Gates Foundation have donated tons of money, and there's
Mhm.
other places too. Um, And so we have this personalized learning platform, which has a number of really useful features for hybrid learning, which we usually would do, although we had full-time face-to-face hours in our school, from 8:20 till 3:20, but it already was hybrid. And so like we had all of the materials already online, and there's quizzes already online, and a place for students to submit their work with checkpoints and the final products and the grading and everything. And also our school, it's a one-to-one school, meaning that our school provides a Chromebook to every student from day one. And so they're used to using that. There's also a feature where students have to set goals, and there's also other features set up like the structure of our school. Students are in mentor groups, which is like advisory at some other schools. And so we have certain time set aside each day to meet in mentor groups. And we help students build habits of success is what it's called. There's this pyramid to set goals and to reflect on how they're doing. And then when they're ready, they can request a content assessment. That only counts for 30% of their grades total. These content assessments, there's like 10 question online multiple choice quizzes. But that's a way there's this hybrid way of learning where they have access to the materials, the objectives, and these online resources with multimedia resources like videos and slides and things to read. And they have the objectives. They need to go over the objectives and take notes on the things, and then do the diagnostic. And then when they're ready, they request to take the content assessment. And during mentor time or during other blocks of time known as self-directed learning, students request to take these content assessments. And also as a mentor, we do individual check-ins with students. We have one-on-ones with our mentees. So we can help them set their goals, reflect on how they're doing, help them with any questions or challenges they have, things like that.
So if these check-ins have already been part of the curriculum, that must be something that is useful to have, because so as context, it's been I have many students, and it's been a little bit difficult for me to keep in contact with all of them. One part of it is just that people do human-computer interaction differently all over the place. But if this is part of if your students are and a little more backdrop too. I've been doing a lot of project-based learning lecturing over the past year. It's really hot all of a sudden, and people want to hear me talk about it for whatever reason. So I've been doing that. And so if your students are already pretty well ingrained in their psyche or their modus operandi as students, and you also have these check-ins that are woven into your curriculum, I was going to ask you what some challenges have been for this online teaching for you right now. It sounds like this is not going to be one of them, maintaining contact.
Yeah, that's interesting. It depends, because before the schedule this year is the first 70 minutes of each day we're in our mentor groups. Pretty much every day. It's a little bit longer on Wednesday. But so as a mentor, we would start off, like everybody has their own little routines, but I try to follow like the recommendations by starting off with like a little bit of mindfulness. I would show a short video and then go over some brief announcements, and then remind the students to set their goals. And then I would do a really quick check-in with them when we were face-to-face. I would just go around real quick and say, hey, how's it going? What are you working on today? Okay, great. Or I see you set these goals. Okay, good. I would do that really quick check-in face-to-face as I circulated. And then I would call students over to the desk to check in with me for a longer like sit-down check-in, like maybe up to 10 minutes or so. And there is a tool on our platform where we have our list of mentees, and we can see like when's the last time we checked on them and how they're doing on completing their work. Do they have any overdue projects? Do they have any overdue content assessments? All sorts of things like that. And so there are these useful tools on the platform. And so then to get back to your question about the online part, so that's part of the natural process when we were face-to-face. And now online, we still are encouraged to do these check-ins. And for some students, it worked easily. Well, the way we're doing it, like, there's technology is, like you talked about human-computer interaction. they unlocked the Google Hangout before that was not like a feature that was activated on the student's laptop when we were face-to-face at school to prevent, distracting chat and things like that.
Sure.
Yeah, but like March 12th, when like the day before they announced that we were going to be, or they were announcing that we were going online, they unlocked that, and so they put like students had access to Google Hangout, and so I, as a mentor, I send a Google Hangout request to students, and the easiest thing is they request, and then I can chat, like type something or call them up on that, and with a good number of students that has worked. Some didn't see it, and so like one of the last days when we were face to face, they asked us to ask for student cell phone numbers just in case. And so I did collect those, but some don't want to use their phone for school, or gave the number of a friend instead of their own. So some of the students, like I've had check-ins with most of the students, but a few are sort of don't really want to check in. And those are the ones that I'm worried about the most. Yeah. And the thing is, people have different philosophies of mentoring. I really try to, like, my philosophy of teaching is don't just give a person a fish, teach them how to fish, right? And so I think it's probably because of my beliefs about education, and also because I've spent a lot of time in higher education. Some others provide more scaffolding and have different philosophies, I think, of and how much is appropriate to help. And so my mentees are pretty independent, I would say. A lot of them are. And yeah, so it hasn't been totally seamless. I've been able to have check-ins with most of them one-on-one, and sometimes it's been better than in the past, because in the past, it was busy as a mentor. I was juggling. I was in a classroom with like 25 students, and there's like the noise of a classroom, and some people occasionally joking around, sometimes unplugging their headphones accidentally on purpose, sometimes repeatedly, and then I'm like trying to have a one-on-one talk with somebody, and then some people are on their cell phones. And with high school, you shouldn't do that, especially if you're behind in your work. Then I'm like, there were a lot of things going on, and sometimes it's hard to have a heart-to-heart conversation with all those things going on. And so actually with the online environment, it's more focused in a way, because I don't hear the side conversations, and I'm communicating with one person. Start off with a type chat, and then like I try to do talking either in Google Hangout or on the phone. But today I ended up having a couple of the conversations just like by type chat, because they were like sort of slow to respond, and so I just like, okay, let's just do it like typed. Yeah. So it really depends on the person. Yeah, and we've been doing this this is our 4th week already. Wow. Yeah, we had one day to prepare, and then we jumped right in.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, today, let's see, today is the 9th of April. We got an email, all the faculty got an email from the chancellor or the vice provost or somebody saying that it was an email from 5 people, but addressed from one person. And they let us know that we are now planning on, so we were on a trimester system here. We have 5 of them. We can talk about that some other time. But 2 of them fall in the summer. And so we've just been told that our summer sessions are all going to be online as well. So we're online until next fall, essentially. And, all of us, you and me and everybody else who's a teacher has probably watched the sort of progression of, okay, folks, maybe now we'll be gone for 2 weeks. Oh, now it's a month. Oh, now it's 3 months, whatever, what have you, till the end of the school year, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Personally, I'm okay with doing that, because this has been working out so far. It sounds like it's working out for you quite well too. But what are I'll give you backdrop. When I started teaching 100% online, I discovered quickly that there were limitations to my setup, because I never had to, sit where I'm sitting for hours and hours and hours a day. It was just when I wanted to, I would.
Yeah.
But you find out right away, hey, this chair is not actually that comfortable. I never really thought about it before, but now I'm here for 6, 8, 10 hours, whatever.
Yeah.
What are some realities like that you have noticed?
About being online all the time. Let's see. Actually, so I was listening to your first couple of videos yesterday, and I heard you and is it his name Alex, the other person you were interviewing, talking about
Kyle.
Kyle. Okay, sorry. Yeah, about this thing, like in the classroom, a teacher can hear the different conversations, and so that made me think. Like now, it's easier to focus on one conversation, but as a teacher, I am concerned because some students are not controlling their own environments as much. So our school is fully integrated, and we have students with special needs, with an individual education plan, and with a 504.
Right.
And so teachers are trying our best to check in with them, but then also at home, students, they set up their own environments. And so I was checking in with a student today, and I was seeing how it's going online. And he said it was more difficult than he thought. And I asked why, and he said there's a lot of distractions. I said, oh, okay. Like, have you tried to make some adjustments? And he said, yeah. He said it's better, but he said there's some still distractions. I asked, okay, what are some things that are still distracting you? He said the TV. I said, oh, okay. Have you tried turning it off? And I think he was like, yeah, I'm gonna try that now, or it was recently. And I was like, yeah, that's the thing, like because in the classroom, teachers are controlling the environment the best they can, and then when they're at home, then they're in their environment. And then I asked students the first couple of days, it was getting used to, especially with ninth graders, some of the norms of online learning, to like mute your microphone when you're not speaking. We don't want to hear you crunching your chips,
Right.
and things like that. But sometimes it's interesting because sometimes they had their pets, but sometimes they also had family members that are in the background, doing things, doing the dishes, etc. And little brother that's bothering the student and things like that. So it's interesting. Some students have the possibility to have a calmer environment, and some don't. But actually, sorry, your question is probably focused more on the instructor.
Well, no, I'm glad that you went that way with it, and because now I get to talk about my students too. Looking at their challenges, they some of my ESL students, for example, especially ones that are more recent arrivals in the country, pretty much we offer them Chromebooks as well, but not everybody has taken us up on the offer. And so a lot of folks are limited to their smartphones, as you might expect, but also a lot of them don't own earphones. They don't. There's no there's no space in the budget for these frills like we have here.
Right.
This is the first pair of good headphones I've ever bought, by the way. But so for some of my students, since they're now at home rather than going to class for 3 hours a day, they are automatically on child care duty.
Right.
And we are too. I mean, we're educating my daughter here in between all of our jobs and all of the other things that are going on right here.
Yeah.
But it's really difficult when there's a lot of noise in the background.
Yeah.
Folks being really loud, and then also a TV on, and then maybe there's a dog barking or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's really tough. And I'm thinking about them. It's not so much that it's tough for me, but it's tough. It's hard for them just to even hear me. And it's tough to, I wanted to ask you too, you mentioned that you were able to have these sort of larger group conversations with folks. And maybe you already covered this, but are you able to, do you find yourself doing one-on-ones with people that you're trying hard to reach?
So there's two things. There's my mentor group, and then there's my English teaching, and then there's the faculty role. So those are three different things.
Yes.
So which one do you want to know more about?
The mentor group is really interesting.
Okay. So It's called self-directed learning. And like I said, we start off, we do some things like to build social emotional learning. Like they encourage, something that I've been doing, because Summit recommended, is have students do a little bit of mindfulness at the beginning. And I used to try to lead that myself when we were face-to-face, but then based on a suggestion of one of my mentees, I just started playing short videos. And I'm talking about like 2-minute videos. Like one colleague goes up to 5 minutes, but some students are resistant and don't want to do it. And they say it's a waste of time and they want it to just be on their phone or do their work. Got to do my work right now. I'm like, 2 minutes of mindfulness. This is like the best thing for you ever. And this is good for me. It's good for you. It's so, yeah, I'm trying to remember your question.
Just about individualized learning and
okay.
reaching individuals.
Yeah. And also my boyfriend's starting to make dinner, and then I hear the sink, and I'm like, oh, is the sink gonna like be a problem in the recording? And
we could end soon. You've told me a lot of really good stuff.
Okay, but yeah, so individual so yeah, there's some like full group things where I'm like basically like try to build community some, and try to do some like brief mindfulness to try to help address the fact that we are all human beings that experience a lot of stress, and mindfulness is something, and like mindful breathing is the one I focus on, is something that can help us all to relax and to decrease anxiety. And like, I try to throw some fun things in there, like name that tune, or like ask students to send me a song and then guess whose song it is. Or today I put a question in, something we had actually done in our faculty meeting yesterday was, if you could go anywhere for spring break, where would you like to go and why? And only a few people actually wanted to respond. A lot of them were like, oh, I just want to stay in my room. I say, okay, staycation, all right. I don't know if it's because they're more introverts, or because they don't want to like, not be cool, to not, I don't know, say something, or maybe that question just didn't strike their fancy, or because maybe they're not used to doing that. That's one of the first times since we've been online that I've asked this like community building question where I tried to get everybody to answer. We used to do Circle, which some schools called morning meeting. This is part of Summit's curriculum for mentor time to develop social emotional learning. And the first couple of years I did it pretty regularly with my mentees, where we would sit in a circle and start with mindfulness, like some breathing for centering, and then we would do like a quick check-in by saying your name, one word like emotion, and then introduce the next person. And then there's a protocol that we go through, but it's pretty strict of like saying if you have like how you're feeling, the mentor then checks back with some people, and then the person announces whether you have business or no business. And then we would go through, and there's certain like projects to do. But the Summit curriculum changed after the first year, and they changed some of the wording, and then we like made it more strict. The first year it was like sort of laissez-faire and like whatever you can share. But then the second year was like trying to follow the protocol more based on Summit's guidance. And my mentees, my mentees, but also a lot of the other mentees the same grade level were sort of resistant to it. So I and along with the other 11th grade mentor teachers decided not to not continue forcing that, because it was it was sort of like pulling teeth for some people. Although I think it's a really good thing in general. It's just like it requires more support, and so I mean the point of it is social emotional learning and helping students develop habits of success, like setting your goals. I mean, these are skills I developed doing my dissertation and in being a working adult, where there's never enough time to do everything we want to do. And I'm constantly like reading articles about productivity and life balance, and it's I'm learning more and more every day. And I'm trying to help these high school students learn this, and I think they're learning. That's part of the goals of our school, is to help students to become more independent, to develop the ability to recognize their emotions, to state their emotions, to help deal with them, to help reach out for help, to help set goals, to reflect on what was successful, what was not successful, to go to office hours. Teachers are that's one one actually big change that we have is now teachers used to have office hours once a week, but now every teacher has office hours 4 days a week online, so that we're there in case students need help.
Yeah, I think I've had about 4 hours of office hours so far this week. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, just one more question,
Sure.
Merica.
Yeah.
I saw that you had an academia profile, so do I.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you if folks wanted to get in touch with you, see your CV, stuff like that, is there a particular website you want to point them to?
Good question. Thanks. I haven't been on my academia website recently. I think LinkedIn is the best. So people can reach out and connect with me. LinkedIn. I appreciate if people put like a little message to say like, yeah, who you are, what common interest we have. And I love networking and meeting people and sharing ideas. So yeah, people should connect on LinkedIn.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, je te remercie de ton temps. Thank you very much for coming here and doing this.
Plaisir.
And I hope that we, once they have conferences again, I hope that I get to see you at a conference again someday. And yeah, please enjoy your work until then. And I'll sign off.
Thanks for inviting me, and I look forward to continuing to listen to your vlog.
Thank you so much.